Hi, my name is Brian, and I develop iPhone apps. And I want to tell you a secret about making iPhone apps. You won't get rich. But with good apps, you could make a difference. Right now, in the App Store, there are 500,000 apps. That's 500,000 apps. And according to one survey that surveyed iPhone game developers, about 50% of those developers only made $3,000 over the lifetime of their app development. So not a lot of money. You're not going to become rich off it. And why is that? The reason is because the market looks like this. You have a very, very small number of apps that make tons of money. These are your Angry Birds. Everybody knows that. But then you have this long tail of apps that just kind of putts around, making a little bit here, making a little bit there, but just not making the huge amounts of money that some people think is out there. And this isn't because developers aren't trying. They're trying really hard. And there's a whole market of these app review sites. But the problem is that these things are, they're bloated with ads, they're overwhelmed with apps, and frankly, they don't even really work that well. Users aren't really tracking these things. Plus, they charge upwards of $150 per app review. And developers are paying that. They're paying for this. So, what's the developer to do? You're busting your butt there. So, that's why we proposed doGOOD apps. It's a different kind of app review store that, above all, values doing good. Okay? How it works is that if you want to come to our review site, you first have to agree to donate 20% of your total revenue into our general fund.
Gross revenue?
Gross revenue. As a result of that, you get two things. The first is you get access to this unique user base. So these are socially minded iPhone users. Come on, Steve Jobs and everybody, right? So our dedicated market of limited high-quality apps that we've screened that we make sure are of decent quality. And you also know that that donation you're giving is going to help the world. And this general fund that you're donating to, how that works is that is quarterly we donate that in bulk to other nonprofits that are chosen by an online process that involves voting with developers and users of our site. So it's crowdsourced, chosen by crowdsourced and the users and the developers. Now this might sound kind of, pie in the sky, like let's all get together and, raise some money. But there's actually some really powerful win-win-win situations here and some pretty powerful numbers. And the first powerful number here is this long tail, right? So this just kind of goes on off into 500,000 there. And this is my app. So I'm actually an iPhone developer. I have a fitness app out there. It's really good quality. Matt can attest to that. He's ripped his guns on that. And but we're off this chart. We're way down there. But we're making $25 a day. That's great. Buys me a beer. I'm a hobbyist. I taught myself a year ago. Sat down, said I'll do this. And right now, something that makes sense to me is, this isn't good. I'm not going to quit my job, but I'd love to donate. And right now, Apple gets 30% of my gross revenue. Apple gets 30%. I'd give 30% to a good cause. That leaves me with 40%. Sure, I still get a beer out of that. And what do I donate? $2,000 in a year? That's pretty good. I feel good about that. This is money I just, for a hobby, to help other people. But what's crazy is when I find 500 other people like me, all of a sudden this gross general fund that we're all donating to goes from $2,000 to $1 million. So now we have $1 million annually that we're giving out to NGOs. I think that's pretty cool. Now there's the second part of this. Some more big numbers, right? Again, we're on this tail. That's just me finding 499 people that have done what I've done and think like I think. I think that's a pretty good chance of that. But now we have a dedicated user base. So you're users and you want high quality apps that do good, so you come to our site. Well, that's more eyeballs on the page, on your app, so people are downloading your app more. So we can take those 500 apps, shift them up the ranking scale in the market, bring them onto the screen, And we're not even Angry Birds. We're just saying from 200 to 700, that's our ranking for these 500 apps. That's 32 million into our general fund in 1 year, annually. Big numbers, and it's kind of hard to, think about, but I think the potential is there. And this also does good for the developers. That 40%, so if you take Apple's cut, you take your donation, that developer that's sitting at that 200 rank is still making $74,000 a year. And that person's a socially minded developer, so I am happy to give him $74,000. Because he's going to go out, he's going to work in his community, he's going to do good, so he does good. Right? And then there's one last one. This is operating on $500. These are, people like me that if we can bring them up, do a lot of good. But now let's get 5,000 review apps. This is actually, I think, a reasonable number that would cover most of our wants and needs as users. We don't need 500,000 apps. 5,000 apps. Okay, your iPhone, your flashlight, your workout, whatever you need. 5,000 good apps. Simple math, we're all engineers here, right? Just add a zero to everything. $10 million to $300 million annually. That brings us up into the realm of the Gates Foundation. Some serious NGOs and donations going on. But the whole point of this, those are big numbers, but the whole point is to do good and to channel that money to NGOs, the people on the ground who know what the problems are, know how to fix the problems, and are spending all their time looking for funders. And if we're crowdsourcing this, we're taking issues and organizations that people actually care about, they're choosing who gets the money, and then we're giving it to them. Now, just to close to 4 seconds, how we operate is we would operate off of this budget by taking a small percentage, 1%, to run our own business, because we are social entrepreneurs. We want to enable social entrepreneurs, and we want to enable good in the world. Thank you.